Alright, so I'm gonna be brief about this because I can only record a video for 10 minutes because that's how long Xbox will record a video, and that's where my bandwidth is at so far, so sorry about that. So, right now I got the Lord, Monday Stone, Bright Throats, Earth Gore, Plague Doctors, Infused Chest, and legs. This isn't something I suggest you go out and get. This isn't like the best thing to wear, or the only thing to wear. You could do anything you want. I want you to know that there's autonomy in tanking, but you need to know there's also give and take. Like there's only so much you can have of one thing without being able to not have one of another. So I'm going to try and explain that. I got a written guide down below that puts it in detail a lot, but what I'm showing here is I got light armor on my character too, so I can DPS, and my attributes are set up so I have 18 in health and the rest in magic, which is 46. Right here you can see this. So why that's important is because I could switch to light armor and then run the cheese food, the eyeball, the ghastly eyeball stuff, so you could do that, and then I could be at 17, 100, still have 17,100 health. Be perfectly fine to do dungeons with, vet trials with that. But right here I want to give an idea of some really good skills to use. Mystic Orb, Talons, you could use the chains and over your whip. Depending on what you're doing, sometimes it's better to just whip things down because they die quicker, and Talons is just kind of ridiculous at times. Balance is a really good skill to use, but you could use it over Talons, which is a really important thing because it gives you major resolve and also gives your magic back. But it does take some skill because it takes away your health. I suggest rapid regeneration instead of, not rapid regeneration. I use the rapid regeneration if you're dueling, but use radiating regen if you're in a group in PvP or in a group in PvE. If you play in a group and you play the game with multiple people, you're going to want radiating regen and you're going to want to probably think about using the Maelstrom Restoration Staff because you can get a lot of magic back when you use your Radiating Regen. So you could also use the Maelstrom Sword and Shield, a really good weapon to help you get your stamina back, as well as your magicka back when you do like heavy attacks. So these are important things to take into consideration, but I wanted to basically put this out to give people an idea of what you can do and not just like what you should do, because I know there's a lot of really like cookie cutter set builds out there, and not saying that builds aren't like bad, because they give a lot of people guidance and a lot of people knowledge to be able to do certain things that they may not have been empowered to do before. However, the thing about a build is sometimes you get stuck in this cookie cutter mindset of this is the best way to do things, this is the best gear always for every situation, and that's not always the case. Sometimes even with dungeons you're going to want to switch out your gear, and it's just knowing the mechanics which is going to make you a better player to allow you to understand why you would want to switch your gear in a certain situation. Like maybe I don't need 38,000 health, so maybe I could put on something else rather than plague doctors. Maybe I need way more than 38,000 health, and I need to put something else on my jewelry, like the green pact, and I just want to be a troll and be at like 55,000 health or something like that. what matters to you? You know what I'm saying? Like this is what you got to ask yourself when you're doing these things. Like, do you um? But right here is I'm trying to give you a brief like overview of what it looks like to do damage on this character, and basically you can do a lot of different tactics, and I've could go more into detail explaining it, but uh, the idea is this game works like a fighting game, and everything changes always, especially in PvP. But if you're in PvE, it's a little bit more consistent. The mechanics will be consistent at least, but sometimes there's bugs that make the game complicated, and that's what I mean by in my renting guide when I say sometimes you need to just be able to muscle through content, and because that's just like you don't always get the group that you want to. If you're running in a dungeon, you just get random people showing up. Like, so the idea is, I ran really low on Magicka right there, and you might be like, oh wow, he ran really low on Magicka. He's like, this build sucks, you know, and it's like, well, I honestly did that on purpose right there to show you how much magic I did get back from my potion. And then I also had my ultimate, and I could have got more magic back from my ultimate, or even more resources back from that, and then I could have, if anything, survived that initial attack. After I popped that potion, I would still be able to heavy attack and then get my resources back. So I had multiple different ways right there in order to completely restore my resources. So this is more of like knowledge guidance than it is suggested just go and do this. You need this build, you need this race, or you need that, you know. So it's like I want to give you an idea of what's possible. And so as we're going into the realm of what's possible, I want to show you what I have done. Is this is a really basic setup again, like just some random gear that you can go and get. Like spell power cure is what I got on the weapons, and I got the restoration staff Elysian bulk ward on the back bar. The restoration staff Elysian bulk ward is good because you could use it over potentates and or potatoes, whatever you like to call it. The one that gives you 5% reduction from players taken. That's good in PvP, but in PvE it doesn't work. So the Elysian bulk ward staff still does give you resistance by giving you more armor. So that's a really good thing to take into consideration. You don't need a Elysian bulk ward restoration staff. You could use a two-hander or a bow. But you see what I'm saying? Like, but I don't even need that. I could be right here. I'm just briefly showing you that I got light armor and 2 pieces of heavy, and the jewelry I was talking to you about. So the idea here is you want to I just wanted to show you kind of like what it looks like to have the stats buffed up. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and proc the major courage as well, but it's not a too big a deal. But I think mainly the graveyard synergy is from harmony is what really makes all of this more deadly. So hopefully this information helped out a little bit and just clarified a little bit. And if it didn't, maybe my writing guide down below can help out a little more. If you like, go ahead and like. If you, please share if this helped you out.